Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for this week's video, I'm going to be doing my final Christmas look for this year, which is going to be a red and green festive one, but it's not going to be costume makeup, so you can still wear it out if you want. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. 100 something or other colors eyeshadow palette, which I got for Christmas a few years ago, and I would definitely recommend as a Christmas present to give to somebody that really loves makeup. So yeah, let's get on with the video. Okay, so since it's Christmas, we want to have our best face on, so I'm going to start with some foundation, which I'm just going to squirt in different locations on my face so it's distributed evenly. And then I'm going to take my brush or beauty blender, which I will compare both of them in my face tutorial, which will be in January. I believe it will be the first week of January. And then next week's video is going to be a gold glitter New Year's look. And it will be a week before New Year's. So you'll have plenty of time to practice that for New Year's. Okay, so next I am going to do my eyebrow gel. So I'm going to scrape off the excess, brush my eyebrows up, and then shape around them. And I will be explaining more techniques on eyebrows the second week of January with my brows video. Personally though, this is my preferred technique for brow shaping, but you can decide for your own with that video. Okay, so next I am going to do my highlighter and blush, and you don't see me wear blush very often, but I'm going to for this video because I want my cheeks rosy for Christmas. So I'm going to get my blush and my blush brush, and I'm going to do it very lightly, and smile when you do it. You can do up and down strokes, but make sure you smile because you really want to highlight this section. And I sort of do a C shape right along my eye like this. Okay, so next we're going to do our highlighter. So I'm going to get my highlighter and fan brush, and I'm going to go back and forth like this, and I'm going to smile again and go like this. And I will explain all the different brushes and techniques you can use for this in my face video, which once again is the first week of January. So now I'm going to move on to my eyes. So first you start with primer. And then you're just going to want to smear it with your ring finger or pointer finger. Just make sure that whatever finger you're using is nice and clean. And then I'm going to do the other eye. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to my eyeshadow. So I have my e.l.f. palette here, and the top of it is duct tape because I dropped it a couple years ago and it cracked, so just ignore that. So I am going to start with this color, which is sort of a brown with a hint of green, and we're going to do green and gold eyes, so that's exactly what we want. I'm going to take this brush, which is sort of like a light bulb on the end. It's not your usual brush like this. It has a little bit rounder shape, so if you look at from the top, it should be a perfect circle. And it's about a medium-sized one of those, and I'm going to be using a smaller version of it for my gold. Okay, so I'm going to do it very lightly because the brown is very strong and heavy. Okay, so now I'm going to start on the outside, right about here, and just brush inward very lightly. Make sure you get enough color though so that you're not missing any, so I usually do about 2 or 3 swipes of the color. And just be brushing inward very lightly. I got a little bit along my face, so I'm just going to dust that off with my blush brush. And some people prefer to do their foundation afterwards so that that doesn't happen, but I personally prefer to do it beforehand, and if you have to, add some more. And I will explain all that in my face video. Sorry for all the promos. And don't worry if your eyes look a little strange at this step. They're going to, because you're only going to have one color, but we're going to fix that. Okay, so next I am going to take a flat brush and I'm going to take a little bit more foundation or concealer. I don't find a difference between them, so I just use foundation. But if you have concealer, use that. I'm going to do a straight line down the middle of my eye, and I'm going to bring it toward the inside of my eye. This is going to make it a bit more of a fresh palette because you want your green to be very bright. You're going to blend it right before the center of your eye, so right about here is where you're going to draw your line. And now you're going to do it to the other eye. Start with your first line at the center of your eye though, because it's going to drag out a little bit so that you don't have a big clump of foundation. You have to have room to blend it. Okay, so now that that's done, really quick because I forgot, take some chapstick and put it on your lips because we're going to be wearing a red lip. Whenever you do a really dark color, apply chapstick beforehand so your lips aren't chapped because it's really going to show when you have a dark color. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to take our standard eyeshadow brush. And it's not a loose brush, a loose eyeshadow brush, this stuff is going to fall out of, and that's good for different styles of eyeshadow. For this, we just want the classic. So now I'm going to be using my green color, which is right here. And I'm going to tap it very lightly because this one is also very pigmented. And we're going to go right at where we start with our foundation or concealer. And I'm going to blend it back just like that. Always be doing inward strokes toward the inside of your eye because that's where you want the color lightest for a smoky eye, or really any eyeshadow if you're doing multiple shades. You always want your darkest on the end and lightest on the inside. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit more and do the other eye. Whenever doing a smoky eye, you're going to want your darker color above and toward the end, so like that. And I found that when I did this, I needed a little bit more of the darker color afterward, because you don't know how far it's going to blend until you have your second color on there. So I just add a little bit more to make sure it's not splotchy. And then I'm just going to shape around it like this. I have a little bit extra color right here, so I'm just going to blend that a lot. Okay, so now that that's done, if you have to, take a Q-tip and some makeup remover and wipe the outside of your eye and around it so that you don't have any excess spots with a lot of powder that you don't want. So I always take a Q-tip afterward and just do a nice fine line across the top. Which you don't have to, but I find it makes things a lot easier because you have the exact shape you want. And then if you do have eyeshadow that fell from your eye, go ahead and take some more foundation and cover those up. Or makeup remover if you're not wearing foundation. I tend to do makeup remover anyway, because what you don't want is for the foundation to just blend with the color and then you have green all over your face, basically. And if you're going for fine detail with foundation covering up a specific spot, you can also use a flat brush, which looks like this, and put a little bit of foundation on that. Just use that. It's always hard when you're using dark colors in eyeshadow, which is why I tend to use them more, because I like the practice with it, because practice makes perfect, not to sound cliche or anything, but it truly does. So once your eyes are looking sort of zombie-esque, which don't worry, it won't in the end, but by themselves they tend to, we're going to take the smaller brush I was telling you about a little bit ago, and we're going to take our gold color, which is this one, and we're going to put a little bit on that brush. We're going to go in the corner of our eye right here. And this is just going to make it pop and be a little bit of that lighter color we want. It's crazy how much fine little detail can do. And the great thing about gold is if it spreads along your face, worst comes to worst, it looks like you have extra highlighter on. Which personally, I don't think you can have too much highlighter on. And highlighter is the main trend right now too, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. And you're going to want to go further in toward your nose than you think you should. When you have a lighter color, you always want to do that. It's going to seem strange at first, but I promise you it will look better in the end. I am probably going to do some gold under the eye because I think that that's really pretty and it's going to give my eye a glow. So I'm going to take the same brush, wipe it off, and do some gold. And when you are doing under the eye, always try to look upward. So I do it in the mirror straight across from me, so that way I can look up a little bit. Okay, so now you can use eyeliner if you want. If you're going to, I would do a black liquid eyeliner, which is what I use in most of my videos. I am going to do it for the video so you can see what it would look like, but you definitely don't have to do this step. Okay, so here's before I add the wing, and I'll show you after. Okay, and here's with the wing. And wings are always super risky when you're not doing a pointed eye because you can't really touch it up super well. But I'm going to try to here to give it a bit more of a point. You can use eye cream, but it's sort of wasteful to use eye cream. So if you have a lot of it, you have nothing to lose. But I just use makeup remover because it pulls the shape out. Okay, so here's the wing. And if you do this pretzel thingy, don't worry, as far as I'm concerned, everybody has to do some weird thing to get their eyeliner on. And since I have a wing, which I'm touching up, I'm going to go back in with a little bit more eyeshadow. So I'm going to take a little bit more gold and put it underneath it. if you get eyeshadow on your face, the worst thing to do to get rid of it is to use your finger. I learned that after years and years and years of doing that. Don't do that. Use a brush because your finger, the warmth, is just going to make it melt, and then you're going to have blue cheeks. Which I did a couple of times because I also love blue eyeshadow, which you have to be really careful with. Okay, so mascara. The classic. Lash curler. So now I am going to move on to the final step, lips. So I have my chapstick on, which is perfect. I'm going to take my red, and you've seen me use this in previous videos because I love this red. And it's dark too, so it's going to go with the eyes for sort of a calmer nighttime look. I wouldn't necessarily wear this look during the day. Christmas is really the exception. But if you're going to Christmas Eve dinner or Christmas dinner, this is the look to wear then. More times than not, you're going to want to moisturize your lips before putting any lipstick on, really. And when you're doing dark colors like red or black, the best thing to do is use a wax lip liner to outline the outside of it, and that's going to keep your lip color from bleeding through. If you want a bit of a brighter look for the red, you can put a lip liner on, a base color, because this is a new formula that's sort of a gloss lip. Or you can use actual lip conditioner beforehand, which is going to soak into your lips and not just stay on the top like chapstick. But I prefer chapstick. Okay, I'm going to use my lip gloss, which is just a white glittery lip gloss that I use whenever I want to give my lipstick just a little bit of sparkle. And yeah, there you have it. This concludes my tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. My Instagram will be linked below so you can go see all my final looks plus more. If you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe. And if you liked this video, go give it a thumbs up. Comment below what type of videos you would like to see in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye!